Greetings, beautiful people. Welcome to week 3 of general psychology. So, in week 1, we were just getting to know each other and we did personal introductions on the discussion board. And then you reviewed the syllabus and you completed a syllabus quiz. In week 2, we had our first full week, and this was a chance for you to read chapter 1. Or if you didn't have the textbook yet, you might have just browsed information in the Science of Psychology module, where I've included PowerPoint slideshows, videos, and just information about the science of thinking and behaving. Now, keep in mind that the required textbook for the course and some of the materials that I share are slightly different. Please don't be alarmed by this. As long as you're studying the same content, what you'll find is the information is pretty much the same. The way one author presents the information might be slightly different than the way another author presents the information, but it's still the same information. Okay? So I have opted to use a textbook that I'm very familiar with, that I really like, and often I will share slideshows from that textbook because this is a textbook that I've previewed and I've used for many, many years. Recently, a couple years ago, the psych department decided to transition to another textbook that might have been a little bit more cost effective, and we all got on the same page with this ebook. And so I have previewed that book, and I am thinking that it's a pretty good book, but it's not my preference. So I go with this required textbook because I think it has the good information and is cost effective. And so any students who are getting financial aid and want to use the bookstore, you can get that textbook. If by chance you are gonna wing it and not buy a textbook, the information I provided in the module should help you get over the hump. You would still have to also probably do a little research online, to do well in the class. So anyway, now that we're in week 3, there's only one thing you have to do to earn points, and that's participate in our second content discussion. This discussion is all about biopsychology. And when we say biopsychology, we're quite simply talking about the biological foundations of behavior. So you're talking about the brain, you're talking about hormones, neurotransmitters, drugs, all the stuff that deals with the physical part of us, physiological psychology, if you will. So you have a discussion that you can answer that's worth 20 points, and you'll make your initial post by Friday and reply to 2 more class members by Sunday. Now, as a rule of thumb, discussions tend to be due on Thursday for the initial post and then Sunday for your replies to peers. But as you all know, Monday was a special day. We honored Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and it's a national holiday, so the college was closed. Because of that, we're starting one day later. And because we're starting one day later, I decided to make the discussion due one day later. So the discussion is actually due on Friday, the initial post, and then Sunday for replying to 2 more class members. That's all that's going on this week in terms of earning points. You're reading your textbook about the biological foundations of behavior or biopsychology, behavioral neuroscience. Those terms are kind of used interchangeably. And then you're responding to D2, the second discussion. Now, you will also see on our cover page, our homepage in Canvas, that we have a group charter that I move forward to being due next week. This week, I do plan on putting you in groups, so hold your horses. But the actual assignment is not going to be due until next week. So you'll get further instructions. Don't worry, I won't leave you out there. If you have questions, comments, compliments, or concerns, just go ahead and hit me up on the questions thread, and I'll be sure to get back with you. Also, as a tip to succeed in this class, I suggest checking the discussion questions on occasion, because often your fellow class members will post a question that you too wanted to know the answer to, and you'll see that other classmates have responded or I've responded. And so checking that questions thread on a regular basis is a good way to stay on top of what's going on in the class. If you need to communicate with me and you don't want it to be public knowledge, you can inbox me in Canvas and I will get the message that way. If you send me an email to simsa@cf.edu, it takes a little bit longer for me to reply because I have lots and lots and lots of emails. And so I usually go first to the comments on the questions thread, second to the inbox in Canvas, and then finally to the simsa@cf.edu. And because I teach 7 classes, just keep in mind there's lots of students, and I am a full-time professor here at CF, so I have also administrative emails coming through. All right. So that's the main thing I wanted to say. All you're doing is reading about the biological foundations of behavior and participating in our second discussion. That's what's going on this week. Delighted that you signed up. This week I will be verifying attendance. So if you haven't participated in anything so far, please do so as soon as possible because I will be verifying attendance Wednesday morning. Okay? And that's for financial aid purposes. All right, folks, that's all I got. See you on the discussion board.